Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the podcast. I'm your host Roy, and you can always find me at Insure with Roy. Today we are diving into something that a lot of people overlook when planning their trips or move to Canada: travel insurance. Whether you're visiting, immigrating, applying for a super visa, or just exploring, this is one thing you don't want to skip. So let's break it down. Why it's important, what happens if you don't have it, and how to choose the right policy with real stories to help you understand what risks. Why is travel insurance important when coming to Canada? First off, a big misconception: healthcare in Canada is not free for visitors. Okay, one emergency room visit could cost thousands of dollars if you don't have coverage. Okay, you need to note this point. If you don't have coverage, one emergency room visit could cost you thousands of dollars. So travel insurance protects you from medical bills, emergency evacuation cost, trip cancellations, lost luggages, and more. And if you're applying for a super visa, it's actually a requirement to have proof of private health insurance from a Canadian company. So you need to mark this point. If you are applying for a super visa, you need to have a health insurance from a Canadian company. Okay, so let me give you a scenario. Let me give you an example. A client's mom was visiting from India on a super visa. Just 2 weeks into her trip, she slipped on ice and fractured her hip. The total hospital bill was over $18,000, 18,000 Canadian dollars. But because she had proper travel insurance, it was fully covered. Without insurance, the family could have to pay out of the pocket. On top of that, stress of handling her recovery is the additional thing for it. What happens if you come to Canada without insurance? Without travel insurance, you're on your own financially. If you get injured, sick, or even need a prescription, expect to pay full price out of pocket. I have seen people face bills of 5,000, 10,000, or more for things like broken bones, ambulance rides, or even COVID related care. It can also delay your travel plan if immigration asks for a proof of coverage and you don't have it. So let me tell you a cautionary tale. A student from Brazil came to Canada and thought he would get insured later. Unfortunately, they ended up in the hospital with a severe appendix infection just a week after arrival. The surgery and hospital stay costed around like $25,000, and the student's family had to borrow money to pay the bills. It was completely avoidable. Just $100 to $200 travel insurance policy could have covered it. See, these kind of things, they are not expected. So we need to be fully prepared for that. So getting insurance from Canada versus outside Canada, what's the difference? If you get insurance from within Canada, the companies are familiar with the Canadian healthcare system and often offer better claim support and faster processing. Policies from outside Canada might seem to be cheaper, but claims may take longer, coverage may be limited, and Canadian hospitals might not recognize the insurer. So if you're already in Canada or coming for a long stay, it's usually better to go for the Canadian provider. So you need to be very cautious about this one. And next, does the travel insurance cover the pre-existing conditions? Not all plans do. Most basic policies excluding the pre-existing condition unless your condition has been stable for a certain period. Often it would be 3 to 6 months. So some premium plans will include them, but they cost more. Very important, be honest while filling out the medical questionnaires. If the insurer finds out later that you disclose something, they can deny your claim. What's the travel insurance claims process like? Here is how it works. You contact the insurance company as soon as there is an issue. Fill out the claim form, submit the receipts, medical records, and proof of payment. Some companies have 24/7 helplines, super helpful when you are in a stress situation. Claims usually take up to like 2 to 6 weeks depending upon the case. So my pro tip will be always keep copies of everything and follow the instructions carefully. And all right, that's a wrap on the today's episode all about the travel insurance for Canada. I hope those examples helped you understand just how serious this can be. If you have any questions or need help choosing the right policy or plan, feel free to reach out to me anytime at Insure with Roy. I'm happy to guide you through it. Thanks for listening, and don't forget to subscribe for more practical tips on insurance, immigrations, and travel. Take care and talk to you soon. Thank you.